For being the best selling and probably the most well-known game of all time, Minecraft doesn't really have a lot of myths and legends. But that's not to say it doesn't have any. From Herobrine to Mandela effects to even evil chickens, there's been a good number of fake mysteries and misconceptions since the game's creation in 2009. So today, let us look at the most popular myths and legends of Minecraft and understand just why they became so popular. But before we begin, I want to say that I released a full-length video about the geopolitics and history of Moldova on my other channel. So if you're interested in geopolitics, the war in Ukraine, or just want to learn about a place unknown and forgotten by most of the world, then I ask you to please check out that video after this one and let me know what you think. And I also want to say that this video was inspired by Lazy Lad's Myths and Rumors of Garry's Mod, so go check him out too. So with that all being said, let us begin. To start with myths, the first one is that the spooky cave sounds actually signal dungeons. This was a popular one upon the creation of the sounds in July 2010, with numerous users on the Minecraft forums backing it up, claiming that if you heard one, you were within 40 blocks of a dungeon. This myth was popular till around mid-2011 or so. In reality, the cave sounds just play if you are in a very dark area and are in a place that is at least 3x3 blocks. The next one is that diamonds spawn near lava, and this one also came into being sometime around July 2010. The logic for this does kind of make sense, as diamonds spawn around the same level that lava does, and you are more likely to come across lava in caves where it's easier to see diamonds. In reality, there is no correlation even back then, and today this myth is pretty much gone because of 1.18's changes to ore and cave distribution. The next myth, and this is one that I personally believed way back in 2012, was that obsidian can be blown up by enough TNT. And this was actually true for the first 6 months of survival, but it was made nearly indestructible in alpha. However, in beta, it was technically possible if you dropped over 280 pieces of TNT on it, but even then, it was more of just a glitch than intended. Since then, it seems like it has been patched and has just become a rumor. The next one is another one that I believed for a very long time. In fact, I actually only stopped believing this a year ago, and that was that sugarcane grows faster on sand than any other block. And this has actually never been true. And I have zero idea when this started, except that it picked up in popularity throughout 2012. It may have come from the fact that sugarcane could not grow on sand till beta 1.8, but I could not find anything more about it. The last two are Mandela effects, which means they are things that never existed, but people thought it did once exist. The first one is the cake is a lie splash text on the main menu, and this would be, if it existed, a reference to Portal. But this just never existed, and honestly, I do remember this being a thing. I've seen this a couple of times in my life, but I guess it's just never been true. The closest thing to it is the achievement called the lie, which you get upon making a cake. And I guess it makes sense since that's a reference to Portal, and the line could easily fit with the other splash text referencing games. Honestly though, I would like to hear what you guys think and see if anyone else remembered this. The next one and the last myth in this video says that in the old console versions, music disc would just pop out after them playing. This also just never existed, as they would only pop out if the player wanted to take them out. And I gotta be honest, this doesn't really make much sense to me, since players could easily lose their music disc if it just popped out and despawned. So with that being said, let us get into the legends. The most well-known legend of Minecraft, and probably the most in gaming as a whole, is Herobrine, which was created on August 15th, 2010. There's nothing really to say about it that hasn't been said over and over again before, except that it did start on 4chan and only really exploded because of his stream that faked an encounter with him 2 weeks later. And that stream is unfortunately missing today in its entirety. Herobrine as a whole was seen as fake by most of the community by the end of 2012, but interestingly, in October 2012, there was a really convincing fake done by a console Let's Player called The Gaming Lemon, which got a lot of popularity back then, and I even thought it was possibly real. He actually admitted it was fake a few years ago, so I guess that really puts the end to that. The next legend is Entity 303, which is a creepypasta created on December 13th, 2013. Entity 303 is supposedly a hacker or a former Mojang employee that destroys entire worlds and causes people to leave the game of real life. Also in the original creepypasta is some kind of call to action, I don't really know what to describe it, that basically says that we need to unify against Entity 303 since he will quote-unquote destroy Minecraft by 2015. Overall, it is a really typical creepypasta that for some reason got huge in 2014 and 2015. And thus cemented itself as a legend in Minecraft history. The only other Herobrine knockoff I will be talking about in this video is called Null, which was actually based on something that did happen in Minecraft. This was that if you had signs in a world from 1.7 and loaded it up in 1.8, the text would be replaced with the word null. So someone made up an entire story and creature around it, and it would get very popular from 2015 to 2018. In reality, this null text was just a world error that happened when trying to load signs from old versions. It could happen as far back as loading worlds from 1.2. The next legend is something actually pretty interesting, and that is the true meaning of crosses. Before beta 1.8, Minecraft actually had a lot of crosses in its world generation, and this was, as far as I know, unintentional due to how the world was generated. But after Herobrine became famous, people thought it was a sign of him. And since beta 1.8, they still can be found, but they are now a lot rarer than they were before. The last legend around Minecraft is that of the evil/spying chicken, and this comes from a joke forum post made all the way back in December 2010 when a user by the name of SigurdZS said that chickens may be spies from mobs based on how many times he sees them together. A few months later, a YouTuber by the name of Paulsaurus Jr. would reference it as a reoccurring joke, and the joke would see more popularity on the Minecraft forums, and this would kind of evolve to people making mods that made chickens and chicken bosses that would attack the player. However, by the end of 2012, the whole evil chicken craze kind of died out. With that all being said, why does Minecraft have so many of these myths and legends, and what makes Minecraft's version of them unique compared to other games? I think the reason why Minecraft was so easily able to have these myths, and probably could have a lot more, is that you could do anything in any way in Minecraft. In real life, we have myths like throwing salt over your shoulder, which some see as a way to put off bad luck. It's similar to Minecraft, since we just assume that what we are doing is working, since we are getting diamonds every time we mine near lava, and we keep getting lots of sugarcane from planting on sand. I'm honestly surprised that Minecraft doesn't have more myths, but I think that's mainly just because of YouTube and forums. As for legends, Minecraft single player is a game that can feel very off at times. It has a completely infinite world, but has no other people or even signs of other people. It can lead to just feeling kind of disturbed and thinking every little thing could be another person or creature. And honestly, it gets worse in beta and alpha since there's nothing. There's no villages, villagers, and no pets. So it's really no wonder that Herobrine became a thing and just became so popular, especially with how many people had low render distance back then. And well, that is all. I apologize for this video being shorter than a usual video. There are a bunch of smaller myths and legends, but I think they are really not that good or well known. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, have a good day, and goodbye.